So yesterday we discussed about the build tool Maven in the Windows. Okay, you can follow the same steps in Linux also. There is no difference between the Windows machine and Linux machine. So already in the last class, we have configured the Maven, okay, in the Linux machine. So this machine have the Linux. Now you can execute the same Maven commands in the Linux machine also. Okay, you can perform the same tasks. So whatever the tasks I have explained, okay, the commands. So you can follow the same commands in the Linux machine also. So just practice these commands in the Linux machine. Okay, and let me know if you have any doubts. Okay, so execute. See, just to follow the same procedure what we done in the Windows machine. Follow the same steps in the Linux machine, and just practice that. Both will be same. There is no difference. Okay. Now we'll start the next tool called Apache. The Apache is nothing but it's a company name actually. Okay, so it build so many products. So out of the products is two products are very important. One is HTTPD, another one is Nginx. So these two are HTTP containers. We can call them as HTTP containers. Also, we can call it as web servers. So, in one of the previous class, I already mentioned about the one topic called runtime environments. In one of the previous class, I already explained about runtime environment. So, what is meant by runtime environment? So, once the artifact is ready, then we are moving the artifact into one place. So, where that artifact is going to be executed. That place is called as runtime environment. So generally we have three types of runtime environments. So one is there are web servers. And second one partial servers. Third one app servers. Okay, so these are three runtime environments. So where web servers are having only one functionality, that is HTTP container. So which will execute or which will identify HTML pages, cascading style sheets, CSS, okay, and images. Okay, like we can call these as static applications. We can call them as static applications. That means where any simple HTML pages if you want to execute, so then it is sufficient to use web servers, that is HTTP containers. Okay, so whereas partial app servers, which are having the two functionalities, that is HTTP containers as well as web containers. Okay, so these are executing, these are having the functionalities of both HTML pages, whatever the same HTTP functionalities, as well as in addition to this, okay, so it will identify servlets and JSPs. Servlets and JSPs. So these are come with HTTP content. These will identify by the HTTP container, and these will be identified by the web container. Next, coming to third one, app servers. So those are having the three functionalities: HTTP container, web container, and EJB container. So here, these also have the same HTML pages. These will have the functionality of identifying HTML pages, CSS, images, plus servlets and JSPs. Okay, so and along with the EJBs. Okay, so here it will have the HTTP container, web container, and EJB container. So three containers will be there in the app servers. So for the real time, mostly we are using web containers and partial app servers only. So app servers are very rarely we are using. So that's why it is not needed to learn about these things. Okay, So web servers. So then I already told you in the starting classes. So Java, all these are Java runtime environments only. Okay, all the three environments are belong to Java only. Okay, so these web servers generally these will generate the jar file. That means these will identify the jar file. Whereas this partial app servers will identify the var file. Okay, so whereas this will identify the PAR file. Okay, so what is meant by jar files? Jar file means it is a collection of class files. Yesterday we have seen when you are execute the maven command, maven package, so one folder that is created, target folder is created. So in the target folder, if you see, so here you have one folder with name classes. Okay, so in the target folder we have the name classes. So all these will contain the jar files. Okay, so these will contain the jar files. So we can say this jar file dot jar is called as collection of dot class files or simply class files. Next dot var file, it is a collection of servlets and JSPs. Also nothing but Java programming language only. Okay. So next third one dot EAR file, it is a combination of both. So dot jar and dot var along with the EJBs. Okay. So now how to execute? How do you execute the package? So to execute the jar package, so Java is sufficient. Java is required. Okay. So to execute the .jar file, Java is sufficient. Yesterday I have shown the command. So Java -jar followed by the jar package. The jar package. So if this command will work if the manifest is there. With manifest, so this is the command will work. So without manifest, the command will be java-cp. So followed by the .jar file, followed by the that manifest name. You need to pass along with the manifest here. This is without manifest. Okay. So now to execute the var file, so we require one web container. Okay, we require one web container. Generally, that is called as Tomcat. Okay, so Tomcat is required. So .ear file to execute this .ear packages, we need JBoss, Glassfish, WebSphere, and WebLogic. So these tools are required to execute the .ear files. Okay, so but in the real time, mostly we are discussing about only these two topics, that is Java as well as this is a Tomcat. Yesterday already we completed this this command how we are executing the .jar file. Okay, so now to execute the static applications. Okay, to execute the, that is to deploy the static applications such as HTML pages. Okay, like CSS, cascade, style sheets, or images. So we need HTTP containers. We require HTTP containers. So those HTTP containers are called as Apache, HTTPD, and Nginx. So these two are the HTTP containers. These two are the HTTP containers, and today's class we are going to discuss about these two tools, HTTPD and Nginx. Okay. So how the process will go here? So I'll go step by step. First one, what are the requirements? So prerequisites. So prerequisite for the packages HTTPD and Nginx. The second topic, how to install the package. And third one is so how to work with the package. And fourth one is so folders usage. Very important. Next, fifth one, you need to understand here the configuration files. For each and every tool, you have a configuration file. So you must learn about the configuration file in order to understand the tool. In order to work with the tool, you must understand the configuration file first. So next, after this, we'll do the deployment. Next, second one. Next one, how to access the application. How to access the application. So here, how to do the deployment of application here. After that, how to access the application. So how next one, how to change the port. How to change the port. And last one, the topics to be covered in both HTTPD and Nginx. So remember one very important point before starting this HTTPD or Nginx. So both are HTTP containers only. So both function is same. Okay, both function is same. HTTP and Nginx, both function is same. So remember that point. There is no difference. Only the names are different, but the function will be same. Okay, so now we will go one by one. The first one, so prerequisite. The prerequisite for HTTPD or Nginx is Java. Java. So in order to work HTTPD or Nginx, Java is compulsory. Hope you know how to install Java in the Linux machines by using the command yum. So yum install java-y. So this is for Linux machines. Whereas if it is Ubuntu machine, the command will be different. So apt install. So I think it is openjdk. Openjdk-y. So this is the command for Ubuntu machines. Sudo. Here also we need to add sudo because we have to use the permissions. So in this way we are installing the Java. Okay. So after this, second one, install the package. So how to install the package? So the same command for installation purpose. What is the command we are using? Yum only, right? For Linux machine. For Ubuntu it is apt. Therefore the command is sudo yum. First you need to search whether the package is available or there in the repo. Yum repo. If the package is available or not, you need to first check the package. So for that, sudo yum search the package name. If the package is available, then only you can go to the installation. So the command sudo yum install. Okay, httpd-y. Okay, so similarly, first we will discuss about this Nginx HTTPD. So later we will discuss on the Nginx topic. So first time cover the topic HTTPD because the both functionality both will be same. Only the names will be different. So this is for Linux machines. Okay, for Ubuntu, so the package name will be different. So first you need to search whether the package is available or not. Apt search HTTP, and next you need to search the package apt install the package name whatever it may be. So you will search that package. So after that you can know the package name here. It will be Apache 2. The package name here it is Apache 2. HTTPD, that is the package name that is available in the Linux. The same package in the Ubuntu machine available with the name Apache 2. So that part also I will show you. Okay. Next one, third one, how to work with the package. So once the package is installed, so how to start the package? Work means how to start the package, how to stop the package, how to restart the package. Okay, how to know the status of the package. Okay, so you know the command, right? For Linux machine, what is the command to start the process? Anybody? Within the package, what is the command for starting the package in Linux? Sudo M. Not M.
Service name start.
System CTL followed by the status. Next service name like HTTP. Or you can also execute one more command, sudo. What is that command? System CTL or system CTL or service. Yes. So sudo service. You need to give this command. Okay, sudo service followed by the service name httpd status. In place of status, now you can change the name with start, stop, or restart. Okay, you can execute any one of the command. Okay, for starting the process or stopping the process or restarting the process. So this command will work both in Linux as well as Ubuntu also. But in Ubuntu, the name of the package is different. Okay, in Ubuntu, the name of the package is different. So what is the name of the package? It is Apache. Package Apache. In this way, you can start the service or stop the service or restart the service. Okay. Next one, folders usage. So from this topic onwards, we will do the demo. Okay. You understand, right? The three points, starting 3 points. So the prerequisite is Java. That means you need to install Java first. After that, you need to install the corresponding package, and then you need to start the package or stop the package. So remember, both the two ports, this part already explained in the previous class, both HTTPD and Nginx both are working on the same port, that is 80. On the port number 80, the two services are working. But remember, on a single port, only one service is working. But by default, HTTPD and Nginx both are running on the same port, 80 and 80. Okay, if you install HTTPD, Nginx is not working, though installed. Okay, though if you install the Nginx, the service is not running because in a single port already HTTP is running. Okay, so if you want to make Nginx to be run, you need to stop the service of HTTPD and then stop the service of Nginx. So remember that point. Okay, so let's start the demo session here. Now I'm in the Linux machine. Okay, so first, whether the service is available or not, you need to check first. For that, sudo systemctl status. The service is, you see here, the service is could not found because the service is not there here. Okay, so if you see the status of Java, so this is Java. Okay. Java is not searched in this way. Java. Java is available here. Or you can also search the Java by using the command find. So find /name Java. So this is the sudo. So see, Java is available here. So this part already we have done in the last sessions. While installing the Maven also, Java is a prerequisite. Therefore, Java is already pre-installed. Now we can search the package. Search yum sudo yum search. What's the package name? HTTPD. Is the package. So we can get the list of packages. So see here, Apache HTTP server. So Apache is the company name, it's a corporation. So the service name is HTTPD. Therefore, you need to take this package. Okay, so now install the package with the same command. Just install the package. Sudo yum install the package. So give -i at the end. Otherwise, it is asking for yes or no in the middle. So the package is going to be installed. The package is installed. Now just check the service. Sudo service HTTPD status. So status is inactive, dead. So this service is not running. Okay, if you want to make the service running, so just start the service. Sudo service HTTPD start. So it is starting the service. Again, if you check the status, so here it is showing the service is active. So HTTPD is running. Okay, if you want to check on which port this HTTPD is running. Okay, if you want to check on which port the HTTPD is running, so already I have given the command. So here also it is showing port 80. Okay, service is started. So listening on port 80. Okay, listening on port 80. Or you can also use the command netstat -anp. So this command also you can use. So grep 80. You can use a sudo, then you can. So see here 80 on port 80, that is listening which service? HTTPD. Okay, on HTTPD, the service HTTPD is running and listening on the port 80. Okay, so in this way also you can check. Clear? Now if you want to stop the service, so just use the same command, sudo service HTTPD stop. So service is stopped. So if you check the status, so service is inactive, that is dead. So if you want to make the service start, then use the command start. Now check the status again, the service is starting. HTTP, this container is now started. This web server is, this HTTP server is now started. Okay. Now the 3 parts are over, right? So we are the prerequisite Java is installed, service is installed, and we started the service also. So next one, very important, folder structure, folder usage. So what are the different folders which are available in the both this HTTPD as well as Nginx. Nginx part I'll show later. So first we will discuss what are the different files or folders which are available in this service HTTPD. So for example, if you want to know where this package is available, HTTPD package is available, so we need to find this location. So for that the command is sudo find HTTPD. Here all these are the folder structures. All these are folders. Each and every folder which is relating to HTTPD only. Okay. So generally we need to understand about these main things. So under user, so we have the commands. SBIN means super the commands which are binary files which are related to the user level. Okay, so the library files which are for the package HTTPD under user level. Okay, so documents which are related to the HTTPD package under user level. So likewise, okay. Now here we will discuss about these 3 folder structures now. If you move into the folder /etc/HTTPD, it just 2LL. So here you can see so many configuration files here. Okay, so conf file, so nothing but this is a major configuration, this is a folder. Okay, so cd conf 2LL. you can see httpd conf file is there. So this is the main configuration file. Okay. So what is the configuration file for httpd folder? So in the next fifth topic is about the configuration file only. That part again I'll explain. So this configuration file that is available. So in which folder? So /etc/httpd/conf. So under this folder, okay, this configuration file is available. So httpd.conf is the file name. So I'll explain that later. So first, what are the different folders which are available here? Okay, under this httpd. So if you observe this one, so where /lib httpd, log httpd. So these are the main important folders. So these will contain the library files. Okay, so you know already about this one. So /lib means it will contain the library files. Okay, so log means it will contain the logs. Okay, so generally there are two types of logs. One is error logs. Okay, other one is we have one more log. So those two logs will be give the information about the this httpd service after doing the deployment. So depending on if the package is running or not. Okay, if the package is running, so then it will show the corresponding logs. If the package is not running, so for that also it is showing the corresponding logs. Okay, so that this part also I'll show. And next one, so cache httpd, so lib, so this will contain the library files. Okay, next one, log rotate. So these are not much required. So mostly we are focusing on this as /etc httpd because it will contain the configuration file. Okay, this will contain the configuration files. The most important file here. So next one, fifth one, configuration file. So this is a very, very important file. If you understand, for every tool, I already mentioned some number of times, for every tool, we have a configuration file is there. So similarly for HTTP, also we have the configuration file is there. So this is the configuration file for HTTPD. So already we have all in the path. If you see that configuration file, so this is the configuration file. If you read this entire document, you can understand the clear understanding about this HTTPD. Okay, so this is the main Apache HTTPD configuration file. It contains the configuration directives that give the server and its instructions. So just read this document in the free time so you can clearly get an idea. So I'll explain few parts here. There are two types of logs I mentioned, right? So one is error log, other one is access log. Okay, one is error log, second one is access log. I'll explain this part also. So next, server root. So what is the meaning of server root? So server root means where the package is that is installed, under which path this package is installed. So the top of the directory tree under which server's configuration, error and log files are kept. Okay, so do not add a slash at the end of the directory path. If you point, so see here, this is the server root. So the configuration file is available under this path. The configuration file under the installed package is available under this path. /etc folder, the HTTPD package is available. The installed package is available under this folder. /etc under /http. Okay. So next, this is about the server root. So very important term, server root. You must understand this term. So server root. So the meaning of server root is it is containing the configuration file, error and log files. Okay, it contains the HTTPD http configuration file and logs. All these are available under this folder. So /etc/httpd under this folder. So these are available. Next, this is server root path. Next, listen. So listen, nothing but on which port HTTPD service is listening. Okay, so generally the service is listening under 80 port. So if for any line, if we are commented like this, that line is not executable. You know that, right? So if any line is commented, then that line is not executable. So if the line is not commented, that line is to be executed. So by default, HTTPD is listening on the port 80. If you want to change the port, you can change here. If you want to change the port, you can change here. So again, we will come to this topic in the next parts. Okay. So here in the second part, you need to understand the port, that is listen. We need to understand here listen. So here you can see the port. If you want to change the port, you can change the port. Next one, here you need to understand the important. Here the user by default, the package is installed with the user Apache and it is under the group Apache. If you want to change the user, you can change the user. If you want to change the group, you can change the group. So here the name of the user or group to run the HTTPD as. So the default user is Apache and the default group is Apache only. You can see the two more important topics here. Document root. This is a very important topic. This is document root. So what is the meaning of document root? So document root means, so it is the place of deployment. The place of deployment of static files. So yesterday, if you remember yesterday, so we are generated the .jar file or .var file, right? So once the .var file, let us take .var file is generated. Once the .var package is generated, so you are copied that .var file and you are placed that in the Tomcat. Okay, you are placed that in the Tomcat. So I'll show that. So in the Tomcat, in the web apps, we have just pasted this package, product2.var. This package you have copied, you have pasted here. That means the process of moving the artifact into the runtime environment is called as deployment, right? So likewise, if you have any static files, okay, if you have any static files, then so this is the place, okay, /var/www/html. So this is under this path. Under this part, you need to move the static files. Static web pages are there. So you need to copy. You need to copy or you need to move the static files under this folder. If any file that is under this folder, okay, if you are moved, then that process is called as deployment. The deployment is done. Okay, how you are copied the var file that is generated in other folder and just you are copied there and pasted here. So this process is called as deployment, right? Okay, the moving of the artifact into the runtime environment is called as deployment. Similarly, if you have any artifact or any static HTML page in your local, just to move that HTML page into this particular folder, /var/www/html. So then the deployment is done. So we have done the deployment. Now you can work with the package. Okay, you can work with the package. So this is the document root. Very important term. Okay, so document root, what it is meaning? The directory out of which you will serve your documents. So by default, all requests are taken from this directory only. Okay, so that means if you move any documents, any files under this folder, then the deployment is done. Okay, now you can access the applications with your local host or IP. Right, that part also I'll show. So document root. Next, one more topic is there. Directory index. So this is the directory index. So very, very important term. So document root and directory index. So these two are very, very important terms. Okay. So what is this directory index? So generally any package. Okay. If you want to access any application, so the application URL must be like this. The application URL must be like this. Say HTTP or sometimes HTTPS followed by the here domain name or IP. If you don't have domain name, you can go for the IP. Next, port / context path .html. So this is the general. So this is the general if you access any application. Okay, for example, see this URL. So this is the domain name. So actual Amazon.com is the main domain. Under this, you can create multiple subdomains. So if you see here, HTTPS, this is the protocol, followed by the domain name, followed by the context path. Okay, so like this, you are accessing the application. Like that, you are accessing the application. So directory index is nothing but, it is nothing but the context path. It is nothing but the context path. For example, if you are created one document, let us say hi.html. You are created one document called hi.html and you are moved this hi.html under this folder /var /www/html. So you have done the deployment. Okay, so by default, what happened? So by default, it is taking the context path as index.html. By default, the context path for HTTPD is index.html. Okay, so I'll show this part with an example so that you can understand clearly. Okay, so but remember this term. So directory index. So it is nothing but sets the file the Apache will serve if a directory is requested. That means this is nothing but service you are executing, you are given under this path. Service to be executed. Service to be executed, you are giving under this path as a default service. As a default. I'll show this an example so they can understand clearly. Okay, so these are the main points you need to understand in the configuration file. So moreover, next one, logs. So logs here two types. One is error log. Second one, access logs. So error logs are nothing but which are triggered whenever there is an error while accessing the application. If there is an error in the accessing application, then you can see the error logs in the folder. You can see the error logs in the folder logs/error log. In this file, you can see the error logs. Okay, error logs you can see under this folder. Under logs directory error _log. Under this file will contain the list of errors, okay, that are encountered when you are accessing an application. So next, that's it. So these are sufficient to understand this one. So they are the main topics in the configuration file. Okay, so these are the main points in the configuration file. So what is a configuration file will contain? First, it will contain the server root. Server root means it is the path of the package that is executed. That it will also contain the configuration file, logs, okay, everything it will contain. So next, listen. So listen means it is having the port. So by default, the port is 80. If you want to change the port, here you can change. Next, document root. So document root means, so it is the place of deployment of static files. HTML files are there if you want to deploy. So under this path /var/www/html. So if you execute and if you move the files into this path, then deployment is done. Next, directory index means it is a default context path. Okay, so by default, the context path is index.html. Default, the context path is index.html. Okay, so that means, for example, here giving HTTP IP port / this context path, say index.html. So whenever after this index.html, you are given the hi.html. Okay, if the so by default, the first it will take the index.html. So if you want to execute the hi.html, you need to give HTTP IP port followed by the hi.html. If you want to execute hi.html, you need to give like this. Okay, for example, in addition to this hi.html, we have one more, hello.html. So if you want to execute this hello.html, then what is the process? HTTP IP. There we have two columns also there. So IP port next / hello.html. So you need to give like this. So yesterday you have seen. So I already executed one. So localhost this one. So /product2. So yesterday I have executed this one. So now this is because service is stopped. So this one is not executed. But what is the process I have given here? Here HTTP /localhost /port / the context path I have given. If the context path is there, then only the corresponding service will be executed. Otherwise, the service is not executed. Okay, so directory index is nothing but it is the default page that is to be executed. For example, if I remove this index.html, so I have kept this hi.html as a default. Okay, I kept hi.html as a default. So I have placed this index.html at this page. So here one important point, even though you are giving like this, the URL is like this, or the URL will work. Okay, this index.html, if you place this index.html at the starting, this index.html service will work even though if you give the context path or not. Okay, this index.html will work with and without giving the context path, because under directory index, the starting one is a default one. Therefore, though if you give the index.html as a context page or not, then the service will work. Or if you want to make hi.html as a default page, so you need to give this at the starting. Then even though if you give the hi.html or not, then this service will work. Okay, whatever you are giving at the starting, that will be the default one. So with and without this context path, the corresponding service will work. But for the remaining services, we must give the context path. Okay, or one more point. So for example, if hi.html here you have given, but this file is not available in your local. What happened? First, it will go and search this hi.html. If the package, if this file is there, then this package will be executed. If the package is not there, so if this file is not there, so then it will execute the next package. It will go to the next package. If this is also not there, then it will go to the next one. So likewise, so this directory index will work. Clear? Understood, right? So this is the configuration file. You must understand this. Right? Any doubts here? So if you don't have any doubts, we will go for the demo for deployment. Any doubts? So if you have any doubts, you can ask me, please, here itself. Okay, fine. I'll go for the next one. Next one, deployment. Deployment. So to do the deployment, we need 2 static files at least. For example, if you want to deploy one HTML page. So for that, I'm just writing one HTML code here. HTML here, body, page, color equal to, I'm just writing here as red. So we are leaving that text as welcome to. So I have just written a sample HTML program, like a simple program. Here it is. Here it will do the background color as red, and the content is welcome to DevOps classes. So this content I'm just placing. Okay. Currently I'm here. So currently I'm in the user's home. Here I'm creating one file. So vi, let us take the file is hi.html as mentioned. So here I'm just pasting the content and save the content. So now here, now the file is ready. Now I want to move this file into the folder for doing the deployment. So if you want to do the deployment, so I want to copy this file into this folder /var /www/html. If I move this file, okay, if I move this hi.html file into that into that particular folder, deployment is done. So now can you tell me what is the command to move this file into that particular folder? What is the file? What is the command? Move or copy. So the command is sudo copy hi.html into the folder /var /www/html. Now deployment is done. So now if you go to that particular path, so cd /var /www/html. So here, if you see here, so we have the package is available here. Okay, so before accessing this package, so first let us check, since the service is running, right? HTTPD service is running. So if you want to check, you can check sudo service HTTPD status. So status is running. Now, if you want to check the status, so now you need to, what is the, how I need to access the URL? So I already told you the process. So this is the syntax. So HTTP colon slash IP. IP means IP of the machine colon port. Okay. So here first I need to give the HTTP colon. So what is the IP of this machine? So this is the IP of the machine and followed by the port. Okay, slash index.html. Enter. The service is not running. Why? Why the service is not running? Because here the default port for HTTPD is 80, right? The service HTTPD is running on the port 80, but this port is not opened in the machine. Okay, this port is not opened in the machine. So where we can open the port? Where we are opening the ports? I already told you at the starting of this instance classes, by default, if you launch any machine, by default, all the ports are locked. All the ports. So total 0 to 65,535 ports are there. All the ports are by default locked. Therefore, nobody can hack this machine until the port is open. Until the port is open, nobody can enter into this machine. So here HTTPD service is running on the port 80, but that port is blocked by this machine. We need to open that machine. We can open that port. So we are opening the ports under security groups. We are opening the any port under security groups. So if we go to the security groups, here you can see the inbound rules, edit inbound rules. In the inbound rules, already we have opened 22. So 1111, this is already, we have opened previously one example we done for custom port. In that application, we have done this one. So now in place of 1111, I want to open the port 80. Okay, I want to open the port 80. Here in place of custom TCP, here you can give as HTTP. You can see the name HTTP. Okay, here it is 80 and the type is HTTP. Now just to save the rules. So here it should be so 0.0.0.0/0. What is the meaning of this? Any IP can access this machine. Any IP can access this service. That HTTP service can anybody access. So save the rules. Now if you do the refresh, then it will work. But it is still showing 404 error. The request URL is not found. Okay, the request URL is not found. 404 is the error. So just delete this one. So just delete that one. So now see here the default page that is opening here. This is the HTTP default page. The HTTP service is running in your local. So this is the default page. Though if you give the port or not. So if you give the port, if you not give the port, in both ways it is working. Both ways it is working. If you give the port or if you not give the port, in both ways it is working. Okay. Now the HTTP service is running. Now if you want to access the application that is deployed hi.html, so just give the context path here. Now click on enter. See this. Welcome to DevOps classes. Welcome to DevOps classes here. Okay, so here let us go to this one once again. Now UV /www. Now here we have the file as Nginx.html. Now here body basic color is equal to red. It is a read-only file, so it will not save. So you need to give the permissions. It is having only read permission. The user don't have the right permissions. Therefore, you need to give the full permissions to this sudo chmod 777. I'm giving the full permissions to this file. So now if you do see here, so I have given the full permissions to this user. Now I can edit. Now I can edit the file. Just removing this colon. Now, if you check this, whether the color is red or not. Regarding that color, we'll see that later. So, but anyway, this is working now. So now here I'm creating one more file, hello.html. So here I'm giving the same content, different name. Here I'm giving this one. Come to HTTP classes, HTTPD and class. I'm giving this one. Save this one. And now I'm moving this. I'm just moving this file into the /var/www/html for doing the deployment. So cp hello to the path/var/www/html. Now if you go into the path ed var www html ll, you can see the two files now. So hi.html, hello.html. Now deployment is done. Now if you, in place of hi.html, if you do the hello.html, welcome to the HTTPD and Nginx classes. So this will work. Okay, this will work. Understood, right? How we are doing the deployment. Okay, for HTML pages, so this is the process for doing the deployment. Okay, for HTML pages, cascade, style sheets, and images, this is the process. We are moving the HTML pages into /var/www/html page. Then the deployment is done. So if it is a var file, so then you need to move the var file into the Tomcat web apps folder. So that part I'll show in the Tomcat classes again separately. So since this is a topic of HTTPD and Nginx, so this is the process of doing the deployment, and this is the process of to see the accessing the application. Okay, so understood, right? Any doubts here while doing the deployments? If you have any doubts.
Sir, HTTPD is the service related to the HTTP services. What about Nginx, sir?
Nginx also same as HTTPD. It is also another service similar to HTTPD. It is also doing the same function of HTTPD.
Okay. Even deployment also, while moving the file, will move to the same path.
Same path, same procedure. We have the same configuration file is there. The name is only different. The rest of the operation is same.
Even port numbers, starting, everything are same. Okay, sir.
Yes, HTTPD and Nginx both are running on the same port. Okay. After completion of this, I'll show the Nginx topic, then you can understand clearly.
Okay, sir. And because of HTTP, it's clearly the name of the service is clearly stating it relates to HTTP. The Nginx, so what it is, I have the doubt. That's it. No issues.
Okay, okay. Any doubts here again? Understood, right? Krishna garu, Kuchura garu, Srivastava madam, Chiranjeevi garu.
Yes, sir.
Very simple to understand here. Nothing is there here. So in interviews topic, so these are some important topics you must understand. But so
Sir,
how you
here we mentioned background color red color, no?
yes, yes, but somehow it is not working. Yeah, somehow it is not working. I'll tell you this one again.
Okay.
Actually, this should work with this,
Yeah.
but it is not working. So we'll
And
see
that's
why
the
it is
issue.
not working.
Okay.
But there is some maybe it is related to the HTML code only, not in the deployment part. So deployment it is working. It is working fine. There is no problem in the deployment.
Yes, yes. Deployment is working. Only that.
We need to see this one. Why this is not.
Mm.
You want the color. Something I have given here. So this is also another example of this HTML code only. So to take this one. So here again so here I'm creating one more file. So no need to be HTML. If course also it will work. We are giving the course. We're just saving this this is some default code you can get in the internet also. Okay, so no need to worry about this one HTML code. Okay, this you can get from the internet also. I'm just moving file into the path, into the path /var/www/html. Now deployment is done. Now if you access the application course here, the course is background color blue I have given. Okay, so like this, you can access the application. So this is one typical HTML page. Okay, now if you want, you can change the color also. Here, if you go to the particular folder, cd /www/html. So here, okay. This course don't have the right permissions, right? You need to give the right permissions first. It's not that I'm giving the full permissions to the course, but in real time, so don't give any full permissions to any file. Okay, since it's demo purpose only, I'm giving the full permission. So course here, I'm changing the color. Color to some red. Then the changes, we refresh to the red color you can see. Done. But why this is not working here? I need to see. This is the given this only. Okay, we will give the same in my.html also. whether it is in that color or not. Here in place of this is the context path. You can call this as context path. So see here it is taking. Clear? So in this way you can do the
Yes, sir.
deployment. Okay, now I told you right in here. So document root is over now. So you can understand what is the meaning of document root. It is the place of deployment. Okay, you are creating the static files, HTML pages, and you are moving the HTML pages into this particular folder, then deployment is done. Now, coming to the directory index. So here, the default here it is index.html. Okay, though you are given the index.html or not, so .html or not. So index.html is not available in our local. That's why it is throwing the error 404 error. This context path is not available in the local. That's why it is throwing the error. Okay. So for example, I want to make hi.html as a default one. That means whenever I hit the URL along with the port, so I need to get, so instead of this page, this is the index.html actually. So instead of this page, I want to see hi, welcome to DevOps classes. Understood? Instead of this default page, I want to see the default page as hi, welcome to DevOps classes. So for that, I can go for the document root. So the document root is available under the /etc/httpd folder. So cd/etc. Here under the config folder, here you can see the httpd.conf. So if you edit the file sudo vi httpd.conf, so go to the document root, the directory index. Here you can edit. So after this, if you give hi.html and hello.html and quotes, you have created these three, right? So what is the meaning of this? So by default, it is taking the index.html. If this page is not available, so this is taking the hi.html. If this page is not available, so it is taking the hello.html. If this page is not available, it is taking the default as quotes. Let us try this. Here I'm just giving the path as index.html. So this is not there. So it is showing this one because this is the index.html itself. Therefore, here once again I'm editing this file. I'm just removing this index.html there. Here I'm just deleting this one, index.html. Now the default one is hi.html. Now, if you just refresh the page, okay, why it is not showing? Why it is not showing means, so I already told you in the previous classes also, whenever you have done the changes to the config file, okay, when you make changes to the config file, what you have to do? Whenever you done the changes to the config file, must restart the service. Then only the service will work. Then only service or the changes will affect. Then only changes will affect. Now I have done the change to the config file, right? I have just deleted the index.html. Now I need to restart the service. What's the command to restart the service? Sudo service httpd restart. service is restart. Now check the page. See here, I have not given the context path here. I have not given the context path here, but by default it is showing the default page as welcome to DevOps class. That is the default page. Whenever you take the URL, here and just paste in the browser, and hit. The default it is this one. Previously the default page is different. It is HTTP default page, but now the default page is changed. Now I'll do one more thing. Here I have 3 files, right? Okay, so in the slash, going to the /www/html. I'm going into this folder. Now here I have 3 files. So I make hi.html as default. Now what I'm doing, I just removing this one, or I just rename this one. Okay, I just rename this one. So for rename, the command is hi. So mv move is the command to change the to rename the page. I just renamed the hi.html to hi.html. So permission is denied. So I need to do the sudo. Now it is changed. Now hi.html is the actual default page. Now that page is not available. So what happened? Then after immediate followed is hello.html. It is showing the hello.html as a default. See here, the default page is not there. Why? The default page actually you are given as hi.html, but that is not there. But after this we have given this one. Therefore, it is taken as a default one. For example, if you rename this one again, hello.html. So move hello.html to say hello.html. I just rename this one. Now, if you refresh this one again, so this now actually this is the default one, but this is not there now. Therefore, then after the next one is this one. Therefore, if you refresh that one, you can see the next default one. Understood, right? What is the meaning of directory index? So directory index is nothing but the default page that should be displayed. You can give here the default. If you want to display the default page, okay, then you can give that particular URL or context path here. It is following proper order. Okay, so if you're giving like this, then what happened? It is following the order. If the first one is available, then it is showing the first page only. If the first page is not available, it is going for the next page. So we are taking clear, right? Understood about this one? Any doubts? Directory index. What is the meaning of directory index? How it is working?
Yes, sir.
Right. So next one, the deployment is done. So accessing also completed. The next one, change the port. So how to change the port? I already told you. So here I'm giving you a single one, 6 and 7. 6 you can take deployment. So 7. So this is the one you can take this one. So accessing is, so this is the way you are accessing the application. The context path, it may have the HTML or not. It may be or not. It's a depending on the file you are creating. So I have shown the example also. For 2 files I have given the .html. For third one I have not given HTML. Anyway, you can access. Okay, so accessing is completed. Next one, changing the port. Where we can change the port? I already told you the previous. So here in the configuration file, you have a term called listen port 80. Here you can change the port. Okay, so I'm just going to this part. Design /etc/httpd. Under this I have conf folder. So here I have a file called httpd conf. So if I edit this one, httpd conf, here we have the port 80 is there, right? Now I'm changing the port 80 to say 6711. I'm giving the port as 6711. So now save this one. Now if you want to access the URL or application, first I have given the path, right? So here you need to give the URL, that is http/ip/:, okay, followed by some application codes. But this is not working. Can anybody tell me why this is not working?
SC manager should be informed, as well as the security security groups also. We need to change the ports.
Yes. So whenever you have changed the port, that port should be mapped or addressed in the security groups. First point. So second point is, whenever you have changed the configuration file, you need to restart the service. You must restart the service. Then only the corresponding service will work. Otherwise, it will not work. So first, you need to restart the service. Sudo service restart httpd. Sudo service. Okay. Sudo service httpd restart. So service is restarted. So service is stopped. Okay, let us move into the folder again, config folder. Sudo /etc /con slash the file. So here also I think we need to change the port. To change this listen specific IP address. Okay, this is for a specific IP address, but I no need to change here. Two numbers only. Number 67. Let us restart the service. This failed. Now let us start the service. The status. is failed again. Permission denied. This is going to start. Let's do one thing. Under service. Slash Nginx /etc. Let's do one thing. Around 80 no services running. There. Java is there. P180. There. Should work on other port also. 80 other than 80. Any other port. Taking Let us do one thing.
Sir, when we worked with the SSHD service, uh, what we did is we have installed policy core, there is a Python, we have installed policy core tools. Then after we have what's changed in AC manager also. Like, is it required to do the same for this also, for HTTP also?
Okay, let's do that also. That's why Linux is more secured when compared to Ubuntu. In Ubuntu, you won't face any issues like this. Ubuntu
Yes, yes, sir.
directly you can execute any command.
After changing, after editing the service, after opening and changing the port number in Ubuntu, what we did is we just restarted the service using service and service name restart. But in Linux, even when we worked with what to say SSH service, so we did the same. Like, we installed the policy core, then after we edited the AC manager also.
Okay.
Like, we run the command that is AC manager port -a -t service name and port number have changed. Like, let us check with that.
Okay.
Whether it works or not. Even AC manager also we did, sir. After installing the policy core utils package, we changed that. The third step, sir.
This is for SSH port change.
Is it required for this also, sir? Like,
actually, I have
port
applied
number.
This one I have applied.
Okay,
policy sir. Command is already applied. But this should work. Why it is not taking the port?
Now we need to restart the service since again. Yeah, it's restarted.
This one, 99 we are given, right? Let us check here. Okay, maybe
After changing putty, sir, before going to EC2, let's check with, we need to even change in putty also.
Why it is not taking means I already told you. So there are the number of ports. Okay. Whenever you are launching a machine, you are getting 0 to 65,535 ports are available and all are locked by default. So out of these, so 0 to 1024 ports are occupied by OS services. Okay, so we are giving the port as 99, but 99 is less than 1024. So that's why 99 is already allocated for other service. That's why there is a conflict with it. So that's why the service is not running. Now I have given the port as 8080. Now I have restarted the service. Now here in the security groups also I'm giving the port as, I'm adding one more rule. Here I'm giving a custom TCP. Here I'm giving 8080. So I'm allowing all the traffic and just saving this one. Now, if you access the application, this application will not work because we need to change the port as here 8080/port. Now this will work. Understood? So here you can change the port to any number which is more than the 1024. Okay. If the service is, if any error you are getting means the port you are assigned is allocated for other work. So here I'm changing the port to some other number, say 6666. So just saving this one. So restarting the service. So it is throwing the error means the port is not available. Okay, the particular port is not available. That is why it is throwing the error. So if you change the port to some other number, say 8888 instead of 6666, giving the port as 8888. Now I restart the service. So that is also not available. So here. Let us take 9080. Let's restart this one. So don't worry, in the real time, these ports will be specified by your lead only.
Okay, sir. Okay.
But you know the process. How to change the port? You know the process.
కాబట్టి ఏసీ మేనేజ్ మాత్రము ఒక్క ఎస్ఎస్హెచ్ మాత్రమే యూజ్ చేస్తాం, మిగతా సర్వీసెస్ కి అవసరం లేదు. సెక్యూర్ షెల్ అంటే లైక్ ఒక మిషన్ కి మిషన్ లాగిన్ అవడానికి ఎస్ఎస్హెచ్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం కాబట్టి సెక్యూర్ షెల్ దానికి మాత్రం యూజ్ చేస్తాం ఎస్సీ మేనేజ్. మిగతా వాటికి ఏం అవసరం లేదు. జస్ట్ ఎడిటింగ్ ద పోర్ట్ నెంబర్ in the config file as well as restarting the service and again what was the changing the port number in security groups of instance. That's it.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So this is about the changing of port. So troubleshooting means I'll tell you this along with the Nginx part. Okay, now in short, I'm just showing the Nginx because it is the same process of HTTPD. Now I'm just searching the package. Sudo search sudo yum search. So the package name is Nginx, which is available here. Now install the service. Install one voice. So Nginx is installed. So just check the service. Sudo service Nginx. So it is inactive. So if you want to start the service, just start. But let us check the service. Sudo service Nginx status. It is started. Why it is started? Actually, I said previous slide. So both Nginx as well as HTTPD both are running on the same port default. But now we changed the port of HTTPD to 8080. So now Nginx is fully running on the port 80. Okay, Nginx is running on the port 80. Now you can deploy the applications here. Now if you create one application, so let us take hi.html. Okay, so here already there it is. Now if you just move this, okay, just move this on the video only. Hi.html. Now same process. I'm moving this hi.html to. So before that, I just terminating the HTTPD service. So yum remove HTTPD. Otherwise, you'll get a confused which service this file is working. So HTTPD. So I have removed the HTTPD now. Now only service Nginx is working. Sudo service status. Service. So status is running. Now I'm deploying this hi.html into the /var/ww/html. So cd slash sudo i.html to /var/ww/ I have moved that file. Now let us check for the deployment here. Here it is a default port is 80 only, not 8080. So now you enter. So see this Nginx. Previously this page is different. HTTPD page is different. Nginx page is different. So Nginx service is running. It is showing the default page index.html. If you it is hide.html, so the page you are looking is not found because you have not done the deployment yet. Go to that /var/ww/html. And then here this is there. This is not coming. So just do one more thing. You will find, you will check wherever the Nginx is there. So this is the locations of Nginx here. So yes, you need to move the file user share Nginx. Let us do one thing. cd do cp i.html to /user share /Nginx. And then go to that particular path. Now here hi.html is there. Now just do the refresh. This is not coming. Just share Nginx. The file is available. Here it is there, right? Okay, 80 is there, 8080 is there, both are there. So this is the default page. Page you are looking at the phone. I already deployed that one into the responding folder. This one. And this is not coming. Just go to folder this one. Just check for other files. CD This is the path for Nginx for dumping the deployment file. Dumping the deployment file in the Nginx is, what is the path? /var/share /Nginx/html. This is the path of deployment. So if you go to the config file, you can clearly understand about this part. So here the config file is available under the path cd slash www Nginx. So see here you have the file with config in the folder. So cd, you can see nginx.conf, where you can see, yes, here itself. Nginx.conf is there, right? So this is the config file. So this is the config.file. Here you can see the complete details about the Nginx, where the same points you can see here like HTTPD with more minor differences. So error log that is available under this path. So /var/log/nginx /error log. Okay. So next here you can see the port name as well as everything. So server here by default is listening under port 8. So if you want to change the port here, you can change the port. Okay. So these are root, nothing but directory root. Okay, that means this is the place of deployment. User, share, Nginx, HTML. So this is the path of deployment. In case of HTTPD /var/www/html is the path of deployment for Nginx. So this is a deployment path. So next, directory root. So I'll explain these error codes tomorrow class. So document root. So this is the server root. Here we need to add the index page. How we are added the default index page in the HTTPD. Likewise, here we need to add some default page like directory root is there, right? Here directory index is there, right? So you can give the directory index like this. So here, if you want to give the directory index under the root, okay, you can give here. Okay, so this is the config file of Nginx. So tomorrow, once again, I'll explain this Nginx part later and tomorrow class, as well as the error codes are there. Troubleshoot means nothing but error code. So what are the different types of error codes which are there? Okay, and that part we will I'll discuss tomorrow. And also I'll show in the Ubuntu machine also how we are doing the deployments in the Ubuntu machine with both HTTPD and Nginx. So this part also I'll explain tomorrow. Okay, till now, any doubts here on this topic? Today we discussed all these topics. So troubleshooting will be tomorrow. So Nginx will be same as this one, except this path of deployment. The path of deployment is different in Nginx. This is the path of deployment. The changing port and restarting service, everything will be same. If you prepare a HTML file and put this file under this folder, deployment is done. Here the service is working. Similarly, here also we have this one, right? Course file is there here. Just move the course file. So sudo cp course in the location /var user /share Nginx HTML. Under this path, you are just move this one. Now deployment is done. Check the URL. It is downloading the page because there is no extension with course. The course of HTML, maybe this will display the content. We'll do one thing. Here we are. Just move into the folder cd So we already one file is there hidden HTML. Now just I'm renaming this one. We go source.html to source dot. Now type source.html. Let us check here. Whenever you type course only, it is simply downloading the corresponding file. Okay, so for Nginx, you need a proper extension also, like .html is compulsory. Whereas HTTPD, it is not required. So it is simply displaying the content also. Right? So there's a difference between HTTPD and Nginx. So tomorrow for up to 10 minutes, I'll discuss about the Nginx, Ubuntu. Okay, so as well as about this HTTPD and the Nginx in Ubuntu machine. It is quite similar to this one, but except the package name is different. The only difference here in Ubuntu, the package of HTTPD is Apache 2. Apache 2. The name of the HTTPD package name is Apache 2, and the Nginx package is same as Nginx. So tomorrow I'll explain this part along with the troubleshooting. After that, we'll start the Tomcat. So if you have any doubts in this topic, you can ask me. Okay, otherwise you can leave this.